Yes. So the number two is you have to accept that you want the change to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want better? If yes, what do you want? What do you want to see differently? What do you want to find different in your marriage? That's the second one. Like, okay, you know what? I want better. Now, the third one is you have to be willing to do the work, and that has nothing to do with if your spouse is on board or not. You're doing it for you, and he will either step up or if he doesn't, then you're a better woman for the next person who will be able to cherish you. But I
definitely
guarantee
you have to
you,
take action. Yes.
I guarantee you, when you do that work on yourself, your spouse will be like, hold on, where did this girl come from? You see, men are animals a bit. They're like a little bit animalistic. So when he begins to feel his needs met, the attraction comes and they don't know how to hide it. He'll begin running around you like, okay, what happened? You look so sexy in that dress today, like, what happened? Your husband will be back, your animal will be back, which is like what we want. So first of all, acknowledge that what you're doing, what you have learned may not be helping you, and it's time to think through what it is. Number two, accept that you need work and that you will be willing to do the work. Now, the third step is more like, do you have faith that this is something you want to go after? Do you have the faith? Do you have the belief that your marriage has potential? Because a marriage is like a business. You don't believe in your business, you won't do the work.
Yeah.
And I really want you to.
If you don't appreciate the relationship, leave the relationship alone.
It's a lot of work. Yeah. So unless it's something that is really important for you, that you feel this person deserves it, maybe you shouldn't. But you should do the work for you, because just because you married someone and it didn't work out doesn't mean that that is it for you. Maybe your first phase of a relationship is over. And I have told people that you can have different marriages with the same person. Let's say you had a husband and you were all in love with him, and you know love is blind. It tells you that you're the best person, you're the only option, you're the best in the world, there's no competitor. That's what love tells you. Now, assuming there's infidelity which comes in, which really tells you that, hey, you're not the best person, there is somebody else. You're not my oxygen and everything, because there is somebody else. Like, heck, you are not where you thought you were. Infidelity is really hard. It tests what people believe in marriage. Assuming that happened for you, I'm not saying it should, like worst case scenario, assuming that happened. If you're going to work on a relationship that has infidelity in it, you're going to get a second relationship. This marriage is dead now. You need a second marriage. Is it going to be with the same guy or not? Because you will never have the
and
first
that's a
marriage.
whole different topic. Yeah, that could be that could be a whole nother segment.
Yeah, so, because we could talk the whole day. But you have to accept that this relationship is over. I am going to have a second relationship. And if that's with the same person, that's okay. If that's not with the same person, it's your life. And nobody has boundaries on you.
Yes, I love it. So now that you realize that this is something that you want to do as a purpose in life, to be able to help some female entrepreneurs work on their relationships, be able to share with the world and make an impact, and hopefully almost like a voice for men as a woman of what is a disconnect to them for them in a relationship. And so it's interesting how you're able to take your experience and having made the assessment with both sides, and be able to share it with the world. So I want to ask you, like, what inspires you? Like, I know this is a purpose, but what inspires you every day? Like, what are you looking to what does success look like for you? And that's inspiring you to do this every single day, and that you want to do this for the rest of your life.
Yeah. So, Carla, my reason for existence is to help people see the best version of who they can be. So what success looks to me is when I meet somebody and they are better because of me. When I style that man and he can go from no deal to, hey, I look so good, I better ink this deal. When I talk to this lady and she says, whoa, my marriage is not dead and I meet her and she says, Prima, you have no idea, but I did the work and I saw transformation. So for me, really
Nice.
success looks like people becoming the best version of who they can be and knowing that I had a hand to put in that.
Almost getting them excited again about that relationship, isn't it? It's the relationship is not dead, and
No.
it's not it doesn't have to be boring if you work on yourself, if you work on the relationship, and really appreciating the other part of the relationship, right? I think sometimes what I've seen is a person will be in a relationship and they'll forget there's another person in the relationship. So appreciate, yes, as you're working on yourself, but always understanding that there is someone else, to appreciate that person in the relationship. And I think that could be a good a good way to start, as you say, to working on yourself, and then being able to identifying what needs to be worked on for both. So that is fantastic. But I feel success to you
challenge status quo and know that people are telling you what's possible for them. I say to the women, challenge status quo and decide not to allow that one thing has to give way, because most of the women tell me, but Prim, you have sacrificed one thing. And I say, cut the bullshit. You don't have to. You don't have to. If you decide to do the work, the same work you put in your business, if you put that in your home, you will cut through. So
I love that.
People have things they say like, which man listens? I mean, the fights, I mean, that's normal. I mean, we're there, we're surviving. Like, no. Decide that you want to thrive and do the work like it was a real business and see if that won't change your life.
I love it. So Prima, if you had to share with women, and this is a two-part question. If you had to share with women something that they don't know, that they need to focus on, and the same for men, that they don't know about the other party, right, in the relationship, and they need to focus on, what would that be?
I would say discover the personality of your spouse and your personality, because therein lies all the facts.
Discover the personality of your discover the personality of your spouse.
Yes, like a 360. Yeah. There's an assessment that we give, 360. This is who they are. This is what is important to them. This is how they communicate. This is how they deal with decisions. This is how they deal with community. This is how they deal with everything. And then attach that to, this is how they receive love. This is what love looks like them. When you touch them, they feel loved. When you say, I love you, they feel loved. When you do something for them, they feel loved. Like filter what really registers as love for them. And you will have their user's manual. It's more like getting a user's manual for you and for your spouse.
I love it. Nice.
Yeah.
And so and that can really, really save a lot of marriages, a lot of relationships, and it should be something that many spouses, right, many couples work on together. It should be a goal for a couple to do this even before they get into marriage. Would you agree?
Totally. Again, I will say to you, a man will inspect a car before buying it 1,000 times than he'll assess and discover the girl he marries. I want that to change. You have to do the work before you get the marriage, because when you get in, there's a lot of expectations happening and you will not be able to fulfill them without doing the work. Why do we do more work for the wedding than more work to understand the person and to understand what is important for them?
Yeah. Makes you wonder sometimes, like we let our emotions run away with us and not necessarily, making the thinking process. Like it should be a combination, maybe, yes, it's great to fall in love and all of that stuff. But like you were saying, 17 times within 2 years, there's the emotional aspect, but there's also like you said, the assessment and the thinking aspect of a relationship. And that's what you're putting together, and that is fantastic. So if you had to share 3 ways or 3 words of who you are or what it is that you do for others, do you have a way of sharing that with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So my 3 things that I would quickly pick up that describes me is, number 1, I'm very direct. Like, I will cut the BS, I'll tell you what it is. And that's my character. But I've learned to really know, like, okay, this person won't take it. So I'm going to like smear it a little bit, but the me that I know is like direct, boom, that's me, before I understood everybody else. Number two is I really believe in people. I believe people can do more. I believe people can go more. I believe people can do things they don't believe they do. I genuinely believe that people can get better marriages. I believe that divorces can go down. And I believe that marriages is not as complicated as people want them to be. I really believe that it's doable. You can do what you want. You can get what you want. You just have to allow yourself, give yourself permission to do that. My third thing is no matter what happens, you have a part of it that you contributed. No matter if a guy comes and hits you over the head with a car from the sky in your bedroom, if you were not on that bed, you wouldn't get crushed. You always had a hand in what happened. So I tell people, refuse to be a culprit, ever. Never say it happened to me. You had a way, you contributed to it. That's what I would say.
In other words, don't put yourself in a space where you feel that you're a victim.
Never do that, because when you do that, you're giving others power to influence what happens for you. You're giving others power to create your reality, and that is like the saddest thing you can do to yourself.
Become the author of your life, right?
Yeah. Create your reality, create your universe, create your world, because once you're gone, I want us to have footprints. I want us to have Carla's legacy. I don't want us to say, Carla Andrews is dead, and I'm like, who is Carla? Oh, the other. No, write your legacy. Why do you want people to write your legacy for you? Write your legacy and let people read it. Write who you are. Put your work on the internet and let people know. Who is Prima? The other girl who know I have my work, that tracks down and says, no, she wasn't that. She was helping people. She was inspiring people. She believed marriages could get resolved. So write your legacy. Do not leave it to chance. Don't leave your life to chance. Yeah.
And your impact will be, and your legacy will be that you helped move the divorce rate to being less. There wouldn't be a divorce rate. There wouldn't be, so much argument between couples and so relationships, which really strengthens family units that in turn strengthen communities. So even though you're focusing on relationships, that's a key part of communities, and that's a key part of society. So you really are the foundational aspect of helping a society as a whole. So that'll be a legacy.
I really believe that when you fix a family, you have fixed the world, because everything stems from the family. So I want to fix a family so that we can have an influence in the world. And for me, that is what I want to be my footprint. That's what I want to be my legacy.
I love it. So Prima, if you had to share a purpose statement of how you serve the world from that conversation we just had, what would it be?
That is what it is for me. It can be a marriage. It can be a business. Yeah, sure, I can hear you. Okay, my purpose in life is really to help somebody else become the best version of who they can be. You see, even we say marriages, but when these people come, maybe you have to fix the business. Maybe you have to fix the limiting belief. Maybe you have to fix something else. Maybe you have to fix the habits. Maybe you have to fix self-development. A human being can never have one element. And so your marriage may be just falling apart because your limiting beliefs are getting in the way, because of the way you were raised, because of what happened when you grew up. So we say that to really like talk to one person and try and be focused on helping one person. But Carla, you know more than you do. And if somebody comes, you're going to help them with a lot of things, but you've got to speak to one person and kind of focus on one thing. But I believe me, people will come to you and they will learn a lot of other things that you have the ability to give them that have nothing to do with what's happening in their marriage.
Love it. Well, thank you, Prima. This was fantastic. You are a fountain of knowledge and wisdom. Those who are looking to connect with you, definitely the link is below. We'll be able to guide you right into, getting the services that you need from Prima. Prima, thank you so much.
Thank you, Carla, for having me. It's been an opportunity to speak to your community, and I am thrilled that my voice gets to touch a life. One life, two lives, I'll be very excited that I did that.
Well, everyone, I cannot tell you how much it was a pleasure to have Prima here. Thank you for coming here on Your Inspired Journey. I'm Carla Andrews, and I will see you soon.